Hello and welcome back to another Navis Nobilite. I am Captain Zelnick, and today we are continuing our BFG Masterclass with the Craftworld Eldar. Now, the Craftworld Eldar are a significantly more difficult fleet to play in regards to high competitive environments, simply because, unlike the Corsairs, you really don't have a lot of options. You have a lot of build-a-ships. Those build-a-ships, in a competitive sense, really only have one real option when it comes to their design, and it just unfortunately is just so much less of a flexible fleet. So we're gonna actually kind of go into it and try to form up some kind of effective fleet that we can out of the Craftworld Eldar. It is a much more challenging thing to do in a tournament setting. Just because they're Eldar doesn't mean they're easy to use. Now, let's get started. Okay, into our elements of basic command. There is the fleet commander. You may take 0-1. You could take a Eldar Autarch or a Bearer of the Flame, which is 100 points and 75 points. There is also Prince Uriel, who has a variable point cost between 150 and 125. He has Uriel is viable. Okay, I'm going to make this abundantly clear, but only if you put him on the Flame of Assyrian. We'll get to that later. Now, Eldar Hero, once again, we want cheap, so we're going to be really kind of focusing on our Autarch option, our El Tipo Autarch option. Remember, he does not have a reroll. You have to purchase it, but one reroll is cheap. That's about it. The downside of the Autarch is that he only can have one reroll, but you can also purchase Farseers. Now, Farseers are 30 points. You get a reroll for a ship or a squadron, and it can spread out to a ship or a squadron within 15 centimeters. So these are actually handy little upgrades. They are expensive, though. Now, let's talk about our ship options. You have, of course, the Flame of Assyrian and Assyrian, and the Dragon ship. Only take the Flame, and I mean this. Only take the Flame if you have Prince Uriel. It's that simple. He gets so many benefits. There's no reason to not take him, and you get a points discount if you take him on the Flame. Is it viable in competitive play? Absolutely. It's a carrier. It has excellent firepower. It's all 30 centimeters. It only has 8 hits, but it's still a really, really good dragon ship. And if you take it, you can also take a dragon ship. So bear that in mind, because these are where your carrier capacity is coming from. Really, every time I've played it, I've always taken a flame and a dragon ship. Now, race ships is your bread and butter. You don't really have any choice but to take them. And of course, you have ghost ships. Do not take any of them. They're not worthwhile in any way. You have the option for Aspect Warrior Fighting Hosts. This can be very useful. And of course, your Shadow Hunter escorts. Now, there's not a lot to this fleet, so we have to talk about weapon options. Now, I have found that when it comes to weapon choices for the dragon ships, there's really only one viable option. There is weapons, batteries, and launch capacity. We can get pulsars more efficiently elsewhere, and we need launch capacity more than we need torpedoes in this fleet. So, the Flame of Assyrian comes standard. It is a carrier, so that's all good. It has pulsar lances and weapons batteries, and at really good strength. So it's just generally a good ship. But you can't edit anything in it. Wraith ships, you have the option of weapons batteries, pulsar lances, torpedoes, or carrier capacity. In this particular regard, it is just better to take pulsars and torpedoes. Basically, you're making a slightly tougher version of the Aurora, but you know what? It's a viable craft because unlike the Aurora, this has 6 hits, and it has 5-up armor. The escorts, I mean, your Shadow Hunters are still great. They still do a job. They do not have pulsar lances. They have normal lances, but they're reasonably priced. They also have a special rule for their hollow fields. Any attack from them from an ordnance target is allows you to re-roll the hollow field. I'm gonna double check. I'm pretty sure it's any ordnance target. I just want to be extra sure on camera, right? So where is it? Where is that little guy? There we go. Hit and run attacks, +1 to the roll, not very important. +1 additional supporting. Here we go. When coming any attack craft, they may re-roll a failed hollow save. So it does not apply to torpedoes. That's very important to remember. But still, bombers are the real problem for us. So the ability to basically send in a sacrificial lamb escort and still reliably get it to survive is actually pretty amazing. So these are actually really good escorts, and there's no reason not to take them. Remember, it's still that their weapons batteries are still normal Eldar weapons batteries. Strength 3 is nothing to sneeze at. So let's talk about building a fleet. Well, I personally, and I really need to impress upon you this, I find Uriel to be an effective and efficient commander. He has good leadership. He has good, I believe he comes with a reroll. Let me double check. Again, I don't want to be too wrong on camera, so we're going to check this live if we can find him. Come on, where are you? Come on, Uriel, where are you? Yeah, where are you? Uriel, I know you're there. Oh, you know what? Screw it. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way. There we go. So, double check, but this is all the things that Uriel gets. Please disregard the 150 points here. He's 125, because if you take him on anything but the flame, you're insane. Okay, he gets automatically Aspect Warrior High Fighting Crews, which is great. It is already equipped with Vampire Raiders. He has one reroll standard. Now, remember, no Eldar commanders start with a reroll. He gets one. We have 125 points for a Leadership 10 commander, and we're getting ridiculous amounts of points on top of it as a benefit. Okay? We're also, let me double check, when Uriel is taken, placed on a dragon ship, yeah, not even a concern. So there we are. So we're taking Uriel, we're going to take Flame. It's just the most efficient use of our points to get us where we need to be in regards to having launch capacity and firepower, because it is a very... Ooh, I'm going way too far ahead. Back to the Eldar, quick. Where are you? Where's your fleet list? I'll find it, I promise. I'm not lost. Very lost. There we go. Past the Corsairs and on to Craftworld. Okay, so we are going to take the Flame. 320. All right. Now, again, the Flame is a phenomenal ship. It is worth every point you can get. And remember that the Craftworld Eldar fleet is heavily focused on its cruiser ships, so you do need to have them, whether you like it or not. Now, you can choose whether or not you want to take a dragon ship. If you want to make the risk and not have the launch capacity, you can fill that room up with other stuff. I personally prefer to have launch capacity 8 and Vampire Hunters in this fleet, along with Aspect Warrior Hosts, simply because I like the idea of being able to dump +1 hit and run attackers on my enemies. It's a really, really fun and really very effective method of doing it. So hold on a second. We are going to add our dragon ship. All right, now if we're going to go look at that, look at the actual ship itself, we have to see how many points the upgrade is for Vampire Hunters. Vampire Raiders is 10 points. Okay, so that's a 10-point addition. Going back up to the fleet list real quick. Okay, so that is 10 additional points. Very, very easy purchase. Eldar, remember that these are Eldar ordnance, so they need 6s to be shot down. So just bear that in mind. It's a really good investment. So we have our 2 big ships. We now need to have race ships. So what we need, what now, is 160 points. Now these are Pulsar and Torpedo ships. 160. Okay, and another 160. Now we're looking at, that's 3 race ships, 2 dragon ships with the Flame included. We're going to add that Aspect Warrior Fighting Host to the dragon ship. That way we'll be able to dump advanced hit and run and have good boarding off of that ship, because Eldar in boarding can work very well if you're in the right circumstance. Okay, now we're going to add some escorts. So plus 240. Boom. We're at 1455. We have 45 points to spare. I think I probably made this exact fleet in my previous video with these guys, simply because it's a very effective fleet. I believe I also added 1 more Aspect Warrior Fighting Host, and then I added 1 reroll to give Uriel 2 rerolls for 1,500 points. So that gives you 1 raid ship with Aspect Warrior. So let's make this a different way. Instead of taking the Flame, or better yet, we're going to take the Flame, we're going to take Uriel, because again, the points efficiency is just so dang good. But instead, we're going to actually take more escort. So 240. Oops. So let's do that again. 125 plus 320. Now we're going to take more escorts. 240 plus 240, so that's 12 escorts. You can decide whether or not you want to have your ship function with batteries or the shadow lances. Either one will work depending on what you're encountering. I'm kind of leaning towards batteries because we have a lot of lances in this fleet and we need to have a little more flexibility with that. But you could also split it up any way you like. The choice is yours. So that's 12 escorts, 162 plus 160 to... Oops. Let's do that again because the calculator failed. 160, it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we've maxed ourselves out there. We no longer can afford any further race ships. That's 4 race ships, the dragon ship, and 12 escorts. So we have a lot more ships on the board now, and we need to spend 95 points. I would say that we could dump a bunch of we could easily dump a bunch of aspect warrior fighting hosts. We can increase our escort count, and actually that's what I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to add 2 more escorts right there. That puts up 15 points. And that kind of leaves us in an unpleasant situation, regrettably, because 15 points is a big gap. So adding those 2 escorts really isn't a viable choice. So instead, we are going to play a little fun game here. The funny thing is, now that I think this is what we'll do. We're going to assure ourselves some better leadership, because we are taking Uriel. We're going to give him his reroll, his second reroll, and we're going to take some Farseers. Plus 60. 2 Farseers. Congratulations, 1490. We're within our minimum. So these are highly competitive, but realize Craftworld Eldar are one of the hardest fleets to really be effective with in a tournament setting, just because you don't have a lot of choices out that are viable. You only have one kind of baseline cruiser. You have a battle cruiser that has the same number of hits. You have a 0-1 hero ship, which is really good, but it's all you get. And you have 1 escort option. And, well, technically 2, but still, they have the same stats and roughly the same firepower. So you will have to practice and get really used to how your fleet works, because you have very limited options. All right, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all again in the next video.